Give me a Tide. Give me a Centaur. Like, whatever it is.
Yeah, I'm not feeling the Tide as much, but Centaur a lot more. You know, it feels a lot more reasonable.
Heck, pick Axe. Like,
Yeah.
you're against Dazzle. It's not a hero that's super in the meta, but um, I think they could maybe get away with it here. They just Morphling. Okay. So it feels like Keen are just doing the same thing all 3 games. It's like, just pick a Tricore and kind of hope. And if we get away with it, then great. If we don't get away with it, then I guess we tried. Right? But I really don't think they're going to use the last pick of the draft for an offlane hero. So I think it's just Death Prophet offlane, Morphling mid or safe lane depending, and then they're picking another core to round out the draft. Newbee, I guess there's some, like, it briefly, there's the fleeting thought of, oh hey, do we pick like an OD against this Morphling? Is that our go-to Morphling counter? Do we want something else? Do we want I mean, they've already got heroes that can pretty easily buy Vessel, so it's not that concerning. What else could they go for here? Go for some crazy silencer pick or something?
Silence is alright. It means that you're going to... You know, they don't have really strong rotating supports on Keen, so if you play Silencer, you can even have the potential of running it in the mid lane, and, you know, nearly automatically winning that one.
Ember Spirit.
I'm just going to be an Ember here for
Ember
Newbee.
with Vessel build?
Yeah, yeah, probably just the Vessel. I mean, Vessel is an amazing item now, right? It's good against Death Prophet, it's good against the Morphling.
It's alright against Phoenix.
Yeah. I wonder if they need just a tiny bit more building damage from Newbee. I could even see something like Beastmaster here, and I think that would be fine for that would be enough push for Newbee to close out this game pretty comfortably. Lina ends up being banned. I guess it's got a good matchup against Death Prophet. It works against the Phoenix. I just don't know if that's the line that Newbee are going down here.
10 seconds
Though,
remaining.
like,
Well, I think the last ban will inform a
5
lot
seconds remaining.
about what Newbie are going to pick up. Most likely, well, it's the safe lane potentially, right, that you were looking at, because you hate this Ember Spirit safe lane.
I'm not a huge fan, but I think they could maybe get away with it here. I think it's better to, because the Ember versus Morphling is not a good matchup mid, right? I'm pretty sure the Morphling just like free farms and bullies the Ember. They banned the clock. They're like, oh yeah, Keen must just go for some fighting hero here, right? And now they pick, okay, Newbee picks Shadow Fiend. Interesting. So I guess it's got to be SF mid. You're not putting him anywhere else.
Please no.
Yeah, and then what? Just like Dazzle Pango and Snapfire Ember, I guess, or like Dazzle Snapfire. Yeah, it's got to be melee plus ranged, melee plus ranged, right? So I think it'll be Pango 4, Dazzle 3,
Ember. Or the other way around.
Yeah, could be the other way around, but I think with the kind of strat that they're going for, I think you want the Dazzle core. Also, I'm just piggybacking off of Winter, who's like, you know what, Pango you should just have Pango 4. It's just better as a 4 than as a 3 in his view. And I think he's convinced me. So
what was his reasoning?
His reasoning is that like the only weakness that Pangolier has is his laning phase, and you avoid the problems of his laning phase more by having him as a 4 than as a 3. And then when he's played as a 3, he pretty much just buys aura items anyway. And you can just pick a different hero to buy aura items as your 3. There's like there's nothing especially unique about having Pango as the 3. Actually, wait, it's a support Ember.
Offlane Tusk, baby.
Yeah. Offlane Tusk for Keen. You know what? It's playmaking. It kind of protects the egg. It's saved for the Death Prophet. I'm actually I'm not against it. It was not what I was envisioning, but it is better than just picking another core here. So, and now Newbee, I think Newbee's draft has kind of gone kind of weird with the Ember support. I was not convinced by YC on the support Mars. Even though that may have been a little bit uncomfortable for him because he was playing the 5 that game, even though he's normally the 4 position player, and they were giving Faith the farm priority to get the blink. So maybe he'll be a little bit better off when he's like truly the 4. But so why are they doing this? They're doing this so that they can have yeah, I guess the Ember just is a bit of a liability laning wise this game. Kind of.
Yeah, I would say so. You wouldn't want to be investing all too much into regen, and that's the thing. If you pick Ember Spirit early-ish on, you can just still transition that to the position 4 or.
But they didn't even pick him early, right? They picked him like
4th.
They picked him 4th, so actually,
maybe
yeah.
Just trying to bamboozle that last pick. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. Well, I guess we'll have to see what happens. But the dynamic is a little bit different, but it does continue to feel pretty similar, with Newbee always putting themselves in a situation where they have to be on the front foot, where they have to be proactive. Didn't work out for them in the first game. Keen had a great Void Spirit and Queen of Pain performance, just obliterating the push every single time they tried for it. It did work out in game 2. That led into the Lycan ban here in game 3, so it's nowhere to be found. But Newbee still find overall a fairly aggressive, fairly pushy lineup, and we'll see if Keen, with their offlane Tusk, can make some rotations and some ganks and kind of deal with it.
30 seconds to battle.
Yeah, we had 3 heroes here on the top side, although Afu, he's rotating down towards bottom. I wonder if he'll try and deward this on his way.
Oh, Faith, well, tried to do the little ward check, but Death Prophet was already preempting him. So hard to say if there is a ward there or not. Faith kind of pinging it, but Afu's checking.
Oh, it's just out of range.
So he thought it was like giving vision in here somewhere, but
yeah,
it's not.
And he also checked here, but he was like just in this little pocket of fog on the left.
Oh, okay, right. So the ward couldn't actually see him.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Yeah, here, I'll try and show it. Yeah, like the tower can't see from this angle, and the ward doesn't quite see that far in. All right, so it's gonna be Death Prophet versus Shadow Fiend mid. I've seen this matchup. Like, I've seen Shadow Fiend get dumpstered in this matchup when there's a Tusk rotating. I think in the straight up 1v1, he's pretty good. It's hard for Death Prophet to ever really step up unless you are willing to take 2 raises very quickly to the face. What do you make of the other lanes?
Other lanes. I mean, the Shadow Poison is nice to just be able to trade out, but as soon as they build up those magic sticks, they're going to be fine. They've also got on Faith this headdress, so they're just going to be able to sustain relatively well in the lane. And I mean, there's not too much that you can do in the form of harass to Erica, so it's basically probably going to go relatively even, at least in the laning stage on bot side.
He does need to be careful for the first couple of levels. There is good burst from Newbee, right? I think they have some kind of kill potential level 3. Of course, Afu can always be there for the save. Faith trying to dodge Shadow Poisons here. Afu looks like not going to try and cast the 4th one, so Faith can take some damage up top. They have made a pretty deep commitment in onto Mugi. He pops the Fairy Fire in an attempt to survive, and with that and the Shadow Wave, he is going to get back out of there just. But not a whole lot that the support Ember can really do to help him here. Just chucking out the Orb of Venom, and that's about it.
Yeah. Erica getting a little greedy on the Morphling as well, using the Adaptive Strike to harass down this Pango, try and burn some of that regen, and in the process losing one of his range creeps.
Faith trying to block the stack, I think, on this this small camp, but unfortunately not going to happen. Afu trying to escape, jump forward, Wizard, swashbuckle in front of him. They do manage to get the block, nicely done. Good positioning from Wizard. Can they finish this kill? One more touch will do it. And did he even just pop a salve there?
He did.
Oof. It's value.
So that's 185 gold wasted in the form of a salve and the sentry ward for mid lane.
Man, YDS playing some games with YC here, and YC slight chains, not using it yet, just going for the auto attacks, and he gets it. The absolute madman. All right, that's a nice kill. Shadow Fiend's dead solo mid lane though. That's not supposed to happen, but
yeah.
All right.
I mean, just using that Spirit Siphon off cooldown essentially, and just hitting up onto that level 4 gave him the extra damage he needed to finish him off.
Yeah, he was losing on CS, but that kill's gonna completely wipe that out. Shadow Fiend coming in with less souls and really hurting his item progression. Did have a salve coming out, but just a little bit too late. Morphling farming nicely down here. Not a whole lot that Pango can really do to apply
Wait, she
pressure.
should be dead.
Oh, alright, I missed that one. My bad. He's just trying to stop the creep pull, but he's gone.
How do you feel about creep pulling in general?
I don't like it, but I don't think there's an easy solution to it either. Like, to me, it is very Dota, in that, like, Dota is always about a lot of the emergent gameplay and, like, finding a way out of a tricky situation, but at the same time, it's, like...
It's obnoxious.
Yeah. Ooh, Faith just surviving. Nice hop down. Oh, he finds a little regen rune for himself. Shadow Fiend's actually getting dove on pretty hard here. Oh, did he cancel it with
Faith.
the poison?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
God. That's so sad.
And he took it away from his Shadow Fiend that could have easily taken it too.
Yeah, that sucks. Man, Death Prophet actually gonna start doing quite a lot of work in this mid lane. Just getting ahead in the experienced Shadow Fiend. Not feeling safe to walk up, really. Let's see Afu down here now. Wizard not that healthy, but Afu getting going on, throws out the disruption, will get hopped with the cookie. We do have the Morphling making his way over, pops the mango to get the waveform through. Wizard just surviving, one last auto attack will do it, and that's a decent trade for Keen. What's happening over here? YC just going in kind of deep. Erica still chasing onto Faith. Gonna miss out on one CS for this, it looks like.
He'll get the bounty rune though, just being in the region.
Yep. And YC grabs the bounty over here as well. Does have a chains available. Just gonna try and walk it out. YDS is slamming him with every single one of these fire spirits, and I think realizing that he's just dead. Alright, that's the end of him.
That attack cancel nearly doing him in, but not the case.
How many bounty runes we got? Was that just 2 apiece? Yeah, just 2 apiece. Nothing too crazy, but Shadow Fiend getting forced out of the lane, walking all the way back, and now Death Prophet really taking over. Has the 3 points in the Spirit Siphon, pops the Exorcism.
Have you seen Shadow Fiend's net worth?
Is it really bad?
It's really bad.
Ooh, that's.
He's getting dived.
This is supposed to be like the counter pick, right? But
LPT.
He's dead. Oh, cookie! Is that enough? Now Ember is dying. Alright, well, they still get the kill here anyway. Okay, so the Shadow Fiend last pick, not winning. The Ember support, currently feeding. Last 2 picks of the draft for Newbee just seem like utter disasters. And, what's going well? Dazzle's getting okay farm.
Yeah, but she paused 1. It's kind of expected, right?
Yeah. Yeah, what are Newbee doing with these last 2 picks? They really want this kill at mid. Shadow Fiend walking forward, hoping for the last raise, but good disruption onto from Afu onto Faith, gonna prevent the cookie. And man, that tier 1 tower is almost already dead 7 minutes into this game. Ember is just walking around at level 3 with a Windlace. Please, dear God, do not pick support Ember Spirit.
I think there's a place for it. It was not this draft, though.
Yeah, well...
Nice stacking going on by Afu as well. Gets a couple.
Ooh, yeah, Shadow Poison stat. Wait, yeah, got the medium. Didn't get the big. Got the other one over here though.
Yeah, it was a little too quick on that one.
God, it's so scary when Death Prophet gets off to this kind of a start and just gets all the little items and gets crazy tanky, starts spamming with all the mono regen. Dive through onto Faith. Does have the cookie to hop a little bit further away. Keen completely taking over this mid lane. Wizard maybe getting solo killed at bottom. Waveform forward from Erica. Wizard juking. Not willing to use the swashbuckle, however. Just gonna have to head back to base. And AQ, alright, well, taking up residence in the jungle. See if he can go from 0 to hero, because right now he's got hardly any net worth to his name. He's already lost his tower. If you were wondering why, I mean, I think there's been some misplays and stuff here as well, but if you were wondering why people have been banning Death Prophet so much, I think this game especially will shed some light on that. You pick it in the first phase and still just...
What can you do to counter it?
Does totally fine,
Newbee
yeah.
getting dived a bit.
Yeah, Chain's gonna hold back the Tusk, that's good, but instead YC just gets punched in the face and he dies instead. Newbee, can they get any kind of a turnaround? YDS still putting damage onto Moogie. He's baiting him a little bit with the wave. Tusk actually coming back in again, thinking that he can finish this kill. He's got a tag team soon if he can just get the snowball off. There's the tag team. Punch, punch. Snowball available. Now looking towards Faith. Tusk still surviving. He's a tanky man, and Faith doesn't have anything other than auto attacks currently. He's got the stick charges. Now they've got the turnaround, and Afu will be brought down. Tusk can't really do too much more there, but the exorcism is coming bottom, and Keen looking for this. Actually, wait, there's... Wait, what? He just died to... Was there poison?
I guess.
Must have been poison stacks, hey.
Wizard's just keen to sit here on the side, just soak up some of this experience when it comes out. Maybe baiting that Agimorph. Oh, trying to slow it down with a lucky shot.
Still, though, this is a 100% dead tower, and this is Keen Gaming taking a 2k net worth lead early on here. I mean, Ember's trying to soak some experience top and maybe get his... Does he have boots on the courier at least? Okay, he's got boots. He's got a trusty shovel. Shadow Fiend's just going for a Mask of Madness.
They're going on this TP.
Ooh, alright. Rolling Thunder, but the defensive disruption. Erica also coming over here. Death Prophet's still pretty healthy. Has the Spirit Siphon charges, actually just running in. Wizard's dead. Jump forward from Faith. Can they find the Death Prophet kill? Yes, they can, but Erica's looking for the turnaround onto Moogie. The Grave comes out. He's got a 10 charge stick as well, so a little bit dangerous to continue diving. Erica will just have to run this one off. Afu having to protect his buddy, but they're going to be okay here. We've got 10-minute outposts and bounties coming up, and it's only Newbee getting outpost experience. YC really wanted that bounty. He didn't get it, and Tusk's got a punch for him. See you later, Ember Spirit. Man, the Necro is still chasing Afu at bottom.
Yeah, I mean, Faith and Moogie have been chasing him for a solid 30 seconds. That is space created.
Well, very nice that they got the kill on the Death Prophet. That's pretty good. But other than that, at least, okay, they've got the Necro book up. They're kind of trying to make some rotations with that. Newbee, double damage on the Shadow Fiend, gonna try and take out a tier 1 tower on bottom. Exorcism still on cooldown for 15. Death Prophet still just working on the Yule Scepter, and Morphling making the rotation top with the catapult to bring down this tier 1 tower. What's Tusk going for? Just a bunch of small items so far. Treads, Bracer, Drum.
Yeah.
Nothing greedy at all.
No, nothing too greedy. He just wants to sustain a lot of this magic damage that's going to be coming out from Newbee. He's gone the drums, so definitely not farming. He's going to be getting his gold from these team fights. He wants to enable the Morphling and the DP for himself. It's not a greedy game here for this Tusk.
Interesting warding from Afu, kind of signaling that he actually still wants to try and maintain some control and some ganking over this side, right? Rather than just completely sacrifice it to Newbee and let them farm up there. So we'll have to we got to make sure that they don't spread themselves too thin, but it can be a nice approach when they've got this kind of a lead to actually fight a little bit for the Radiant jungle at the very least. Wizard just dying to this glyph. Alright, we now have the Mortimer's Kisses. Afu's done. That is pretty much everybody on Newbee down here. And looks like they do want to keep on going. Top tier 2 actually taking a lot of damage. The glyph will clean up the catapult wave, and Does seem like Keen just want to commit for this. The TP is on cooldown for Tusk, so... Can they actually get this? No.
Probably not, but it pressures it, you know, and that's always really important. Good presence of mind as well by Faith. He's leveled up the 1 point into the little shredder, just as the Phoenix was approaching his level 6, so he's going to be able to deal with that supernova.
Phoenix is coming down here, but Tusk can't actually make it. Morphling trying for little chains onto the Ember, but he just hops away. So we talked about the Ember as being the one thing that we talked about as being good about this Ember pick when it was drafted was the vessel, right? But it's a support now, so he has the lowest net worth on his team and doesn't even have earned yet. So yeah.
So that's probably going to be Morphling just straight rushing that Manta style, which he's queued up. He's getting close to the Yasha. And by the time you pick up that Spirit Vessel, probably not going to be too impactful.
Yeah. AQ's just going for a right-click build this game. He's picked up the Mask of Madness, going to be going for Dragonlance shortly after that. They do have the Vlads and the Pangolier, so Wizard at least able to keep himself sustained and keep this idea of the push lineup going. Oh, AQ getting caught at Exorcism popped. I don't know if they can fight into this one. He's going to try and get the Requiem off. It's not quite going to happen. Nice two-man chains. Fighting this Death Prophet is going to be difficult, however. Rolling Thunder through onto him. He's going to start throwing at the drains. Good defensive disruption. Phoenix doesn't quite get the dive that he's looking for. Might just pop the Supernova up here on the high ground, but DP getting burst. There's a lot of healing happening, though. Mortimer's Kisses. They focus down the Supernova. Couldn't quite get it off, and now also trouble for Afu as Newbee arrive with numbers, and they get the 4-for-1 turnaround.
Really nicely done. I mean, the difference that a second makes, just being able to quickly burst down that Supernova means that DP not able to survive, not able to get off those Spirit Siphons in the middle of that team fight, and yeah, maybe just diving a little bit too deep. Shadow Fiend, good value to keep him neutered, but only goes to a certain point if you're going to be giving up 4 heroes to do so.
Yeah, that was definitely a bit of an overextension. Could have gone much better, but the Pangolier completely destroying that fight, right? He locked down the Death Prophet multiple times. He stopped the Phoenix from diving where he actually wanted to. I mean, I think that was inadvertent, but still a lot of work for Wizard. And that is going to drag this net worth and experience back really heavily, in not quite into Newbee's favor, but in Newbee's direction, at the very least. Death Prophet, maybe not completely converting on the promise of the early game that she had, right? Like, Death Prophet was so far ahead of the Shadow Fiend, and Newbee have actually managed to find a lot of space for AQ to just head into the jungle and farm up. And we were just talking about the right-click build as that gank happened. I think it seems okay this game.
Yeah, I mean, Mugi, he's rotated through onto the enemy side of the map, taking advantage of that dire plus side. Having that means Ancients are much more easily to grab. You can get those tier 2 items really early on. And, well, he was able to pick up the Vambrace, and he's going to become much more of a right-click clicking threat himself. God, I don't know what's going on with me today.
Yeah, he's got the 60 damage talent, so it's... He's actually going to hurt pretty hard. Actually, Keen going for sneaky Roche with the tag team. Well, not so sneaky. I guess they pop the Exorcism now. There is some vision in the area for Newbee, but it seems like they either don't know or don't care. As Keen just going to take this out. Looks like bottom tier 2 tower taking some more damage. The way that Newbee are playing on this bottom tier 2 suggests to me that they didn't actually know that was going on, but... So now we have the Aegis picked up for the Morphling. Ooh, what's happening top? Yule's onto Wizard. Didn't quite get the silence. He gets the Swashbuckle away. And now just going to go for the Rolling Thunder. He's also going to TP. Yeah, he's going to be fine.
Well, Dazzle's got the mech coming out to him, so he's going to be much more sustainable. Bad Juju nearly going to go up to that level 2, so some additional cooldown reduction. You'd have to think that with that Aegis, they're going to be mindful of it, but it's not going to be an impossible contest if they are forced to teamfight.
Yeah, I think they're still... You can see Newbee, they're kind of sizing up this mid-tier 1 tower. They got some okay vision, they got the Mortimer's Kisses, they don't have the Rolling Thunder for 30, so that's a little bit of a hindrance for them, but Exorcism, they also know, is on cooldown, so the Death Prophet not really a big problem. Mortimer's Kiss is getting deployed onto the Tusk here.
They just want this tower.
He's just gonna snowball to dodge it. It'll be okay.
Radiant's middle tower
And tower dead. YDS showing at bottom. Doesn't really have any vision to speak of. And YC with the 2 points in the chains, locking him down nicely. The dive comes out, even popping the supernova. Okay, that's gonna keep him alive. But now that's on cooldown for 100 seconds. I think maybe he should have just taken the death, but all right.
I think it's okay, maybe, just because they've already used the Mortimer's Kisses on Newbee's side, and you've still got the luxury of waiting for that Aegis. You've still got another 3 minutes, 20 seconds, so you'll find a timing for yourself.
Yeah, I think they're happy to just keep on delaying, and good for Phoenix that he can at least keep on pressuring out bottom lane while everybody else is heading top. They do see YC here. He's got a Remnant, but he does immediately get silenced up. Purged, roll forward, and easy kill there for Keen Gaming as... Okay, they're threatening the tier 3. I don't know if this is actually a thing here. There are TPs available for Newbee. Chains onto the Pangolier. He's also silenced. Can't get the shield crash off. And he's now dead. Death Prophet a little bit short on the mana for the Exorcism. Still takes one more pot shot on the tower. And I think that should be the end of this attempt from Keen. Yeah, alright, that's it. But that's still pretty nice for them. 2 quick kills, getting some more pressure down. And Morphling... Okay, almost has the item. Almost has his Manta Style picked up. And Death Prophet also getting close-ish to the BKB, still needs the recipe.
He's almost got that, but the Guardian Greaves nearly finished up on Mugi as well, so that's a lot of additional sustain for his team. Don't know if it'll be enough, though, against this aggression that's coming out.
Just
they
have to
handed
see
over the Grove Bow to the Snapfire, which I think is the real value play.
Yeah, a little bit surprised the Fate doesn't ask for it. Maybe AQ is planning on swapping between for like sieges or something, but...
I mean, Aquila's so good, though.
Yeah, it is really nice. What else is going on in the neutral item report? So, we've got everything for Newbee. Keen still hunting for 1. As I say that, they find the Imp Claw. What do we got? We got I got a decent mix for Keen. Nobody taking the People's Gift so far. A little bit surprised at that. Actually, Morphling taking the Imp Claw over the People's Gifts. A little bit
confident.
Yeah, I mean, he's got the Aegis, but it's a little bit curious. It's in my mind. Phoenix is going for an Aghanim tip. This Phoenix is actually quite farmed. I guess the Tusk hasn't really been taking a whole lot off the map, so that's mostly going to the Phoenix Mugi. They're kind of threatening him, but it's not really much of a fight, and Newbee just gonna quickly swarm this top tier 1 tower. Keen pressuring mid. I think it would actually be in Keen's interests to maybe take a team fight. Like, they've got Exorcism, they've got a double damage and Aegis for 30 seconds Morphling. But instead they're just gonna look for some, kind of look for the trade and let Newbee take this this top tier 1.
I mean, if they pop the Exorcism now, it would go all the way until the end of its duration, and then they could know that they can back out, but, well, looks like they're keen to put some pressure on this tier 3.
Okay, looks like this is the right call. They're forcing them back. They're not actually going to lose their tier 2. So they're the ones in control. Running forward. Morphling will have to be a little bit careful, but like I said, Keen...
They're just taking the autos.
Yeah, in a decent position to fight. But they just force him back, and now head bottom. Heaven's Halberd on the Death Prophet, interestingly. I guess seeing the really heavy right-click build on the Shadow Fiend, and just nice way to tank up. Good way to really remove him from the fight.
Smoke about to come out here from Newbee. They realize the Aegis is gone.
Do they see anything, though? They see Death Prophet bottom. They're drawing the line all the way around their own high ground. They scouted a little bit with the Necrobooks, but everybody else is still just heading around the other side. Can they catch the backlines? They've got a nice ward on the high ground, but still not seeing the backline that they're actually looking for. The courier's coming over, but no one wants a courier kill. Radiant Scan is actually catching the backstab, so Newbee should be able to position themselves, and Phoenix in a great spot up here on this high ground. Is that close enough to the fight? The Mortimer's Kiss is coming in. Death Prophet is looking for a little bit of healing, and they do actually disrupt. Afu keeping himself alive. They're breaking this fight up. Snapfire dead. Buyback immediately from the Shadow Demon. Newbee just trying to retreat away from the egg. In comes the Exorcism, but not enough life for this. Death Prophet survives on just a sliver of HP, but it's a triple kill for AQ. Erica trying to fight this one out with the Ember Spirit morph, but the heals from Mugi are relentless, and they've got the Spirit Vessel. Morphling being controlled. One more slight brings him down, and that is a buyback from the Shadow Demon as AQ picks up an Ultra kill. It looked okay, but Newbee doing a great job of just hiding in the trees away from the supernova.
Yeah, backstab value really coming in handy. You got to risk it to get the biscuit, and paying off for Newbee. You called it perfectly as well with that Phoenix. It was just a little bit too far away. Obviously, it's a great space to use that supernova, but if all of Newbee aren't there, it's really not going to do anything.
Yeah, I think like the team really needed to just fight directly. There's a lot of stuff being drawn on the map currently by Keen. They're like, we needed to just control a different space or take that fight in a different way, because I really don't think it should be so one-sided, right? Like, I can understand Newbee winning. They found some good targets at the beginning, and they do have that vessel up, so problems for the Morphling, but it still should not have been so easy for them.
Yeah. And this as well, I feel like they were a little, they weren't completely clear about who was going what item as well, because Faith's got a pretty useless chainmail, I would feel, in his inventory, maybe thinking he was going the mech early on, but of course Dazzle picking that one up, so he's going towards the pipe now, and he'll just have the casual +4 armor in his inventory.
Yeah, alright. There you go.
Maybe I don't know, a Solar Crest or something could be pretty handy. Or at least a medallion.
Yeah, could be an option. Not sure if there's really anything else that he'd be interested in. Morphling still just trying to get a BKB, so still very much playing this right-click build. Shadowfiend has taken over the #1 spot on the net worth, and Dazzle in the #2, so AQ, even with a fairly heinous start to this game, has definitely stuck the landing and finding a lot of farm, doing a lot of damage with the benefit of all of this minus armor, and yeah, Newbee's lineup really starting to come together. Keen just needing to get some good value out of their Phoenix in one of these fights.
Smoked
I think that's
right
what's
underneath this Observer Ward as well, so they know it's coming.
Alright, how are they going to choose to position themselves? There is good dire vision already up on this high ground. They're heading up. They see the Death Prophet. He's got the Yules. It's going to be okay. Alright, everybody just backing out. Roshan will be respawning in 1 minute and 50 seconds.
Talk about an anti-climax.
Yeah, I really thought there was going to be a team fight in store for us, but I guess not.
Oh, they've closed off one of the escape routes.
Oh, I see. Baiting a little bit, but also getting stunned up. Just wants this bounty rune, perhaps. Lotus to protect him. They've got the chains onto the tusk. Sending the Necro Archer forward with the cookie. Hoping to find the catch, but without really any commitment. Both bounties on the bottom side of the map being completely untouched. Newbee have vision on both of them. And YC will come TPing down here onto the outpost to grab it. Newbee still, they've had, I feel like they've had both outposts for a significant portion of this game. Keen not really playing around them as much, perhaps.
Yeah. I think the 20-minute mark, Keen had one of them. But
okay.
Yeah, other than that, it's been all Newbee. And man, look at those weird Ember builds. He's going into the Desolator next on Pos 4 Ember Spirit.
I mean, I guess he can just apply it on everybody. Right? Yeah. It's kind of value. Shadowfiend just going for a Daedalus, and then going back for BKB. And what does the Dazzle have? Okay, so Dazzle, well, there goes your medallion idea for Snapfire. Dazzle's already preempted him, and it picked it up. They're really just going to turn this Shadowfiend into a sieging monster, hey, because they're also looking for the Solar Crest. Though Dazzle has... Wait, is Dazzle delivering the Paladin Sword, or is he thinking about using it? No, he's just delivering it. Shadowfiend, you have more neutral items than you could possibly need, Please make some decisions.
Wei Shi has none.
Yeah, Wei Shi has none. That's real sad.
What's he got to choose
He's the bourgeoisie. All right, he's gotten rid of the he's gotten rid of the bow, but I think he just sent it back.
That's the most triggering thing. Like, I'm standing right next to you. Just give it to me.
Oh, you think Faith shouldn't have the shovel? Should
I mean, he's someone that can have two, right? Because shovel, you could use it on and off.
That's true. Ember has just gone for the Vambrace, so he's at least got something now. We get a Mindbreaker for the Tusk. Ooh, Newbee. Coming up onto this high ground. Mortimer's Kisses, scouting a little bit. Spots Afu, spots the other support. Afu on the run, but not going to be able to save him. He is dead. Did they even have... they didn't even have vision up here. They just walked up and then started launching kisses. And Newbee heading to the pit. This is going to be a super fast Roshan. A little bit of scouting going on from the Phoenix. Maybe they can actually take a fight here. They're going to trap them inside of the pit with the shards. YDS, are you willing to do this? Nice two-man chains. That puts the Supernova in not such a great position. And all of a sudden, this position for Ember Spirit looking like a genius pick as they secure the Aegis and the cheese, and they get themselves out. Erica is pressuring bottom with the Manta a little bit and gets some decent damage onto the tier 3 tower, though Keen seem to have lost their appetite for any actual 5-on-5 engagements. Just going to try and farm up a few more items before they make any plays.
Yeah, he had his TP off cooldown on this bottom side, but with that Shadow Demon not able to buy back, still dead for about 15 seconds when the Aegis was claimed. Just not that keen. I thought maybe he might have got a bit more aggressive onto the tier 3, force the rotations back, make them question the Roshan, and maybe get an objective in the best case.
I guess it's tough because if he ends up having to use the BKB, then Newbee are just gonna swing across the map and give him a hard time. Oh, chains at mid. Phoenix in some trouble. Does get the dive a little bit further away, but YC's still there with another chains, and that is going to be the end of that. And now with Phoenix dead for 45, just going to keep the push going.
He's building into the Ag Scepter. We keep seeing these more and more Ags, especially in the China scene, picked up on these heroes that are a bit less traditional, but Phoenix, of course, such a strong one.
Well, Newbee are straight out onto the high ground. It does seem like Keen are trying to trade here, but they don't want to use the Exorcism. Repair kit's coming out, and that is going to be the end of this push. Can they get the chains and the Death Prophet? No, they cannot, but the tier 3 already taking damage. They put the Shadow Fiend up in front. He's big, he's strong, he's got a Solar Crest, they're trying to knock him back. Lotus Orb reflecting the Adaptive Strike onto the Morphling. They keep the Shadow Fiend trapped just slightly, but he's got a Hurricane Pike of his own. Wizard thinking about hopping in. Rax just getting worked, and Shadow Demon still walking into position here. Nothing that they can do seemingly against this Shadow Fiend. Looking for the crits onto the Morphling. Forces at the Tribute Shift, and Keen Gaming just watch as their bottom Rax falls.
Yeah. Actually, not even remotely close to being able to join in onto that team fight, and no TP was available on Afu either, so it was actually a 4v3 in Newbee's favor to take that.
I almost want to take back what I said about the Tusk being okay. I really wish Keen just had like a normal initiator, because that's the problem with these Dazzle lineups. If you just let them hold the structure that they want, then what can you do, right? Shadow Fiend's all the way up here. Nobody can get past him. Dazzle's sitting behind him, and he's making sure that the Shadow Fiend can't get gone on, because there's always going to be heals and a Grave and the Solar Crest. So you need some kind of flank or some kind of jump. You got to get the Dazzle, and if you can't do that, they're just going to siege you into oblivion. The Ember's now got his Deso. What are they doing? Keen just kind of walking mid, pushing it out a little bit.
So the position for Ember Spirit is now level 19.5 at 30 minutes.
Oh boy, alright. He's been pushing out a lot of waves, hey. He's actually just been... They've been using the Ember to control the side lanes while everybody else pushes. And I don't know, the Tusk did well in lane, and then what have we seen from Tusk since then? It feels like they tried to, they killed the Shadow Fiend mid, and after that point really have not been trying for many ganks. Just been looking for the items, but need more fling.
So in a way, like, this really is on Keen, the way that this game has gone, because if you let, as you said, Dazzle do whatever he wants, then this is just going to happen to you, you know? And it means that the Ember's had the freedom to be able to push out these lanes, to get farmed up himself, because on his own, Ember positional support, not fantastic.
Oh, Morphling surviving for now, not forced to use the BKB. That Manta doing a lot of work for him, but the tier 3 is already dead, and Morphling needing to heal up. Afu coming forward does get the disruption off, but Newbee just poking from the back lines. Everybody behind the Shadow Fiend. They are going to pop the Exorcism and look for the wraparound from the side. They do get the silence out onto a couple, but Mugi immediately dispelling, and he's just going to spider legs his way up onto the high ground. Spider legs back off cooldown again. Nearly impossible to go on this Dazzle. Morphling getting locked down in the front lines. He pops his BKB and starts walking into the Shadow Fiend, forced to waveform away. No one can fight the SF. He still has Aegis. He still has BKB. This Exorcism is doing absolutely nothing in the face of all of the Dazzle heals, as Death Prophet just about to get slapped down. AQ putting some style points on it, sliding forward, throws out the Requiem, but Keen Gaming have had enough. Newbee going to be taking this series 2-1.
Just so off, not understanding the pacing of the game there by Keen, and as we were saying before, Tusk, a great position 3 if he's able to fight from on top, and you're the one making stuff happen. But it just felt like they were keen to sit back on their laurels, and Newbee punishing them for it. Again, Phoenix as well, a couple of those ultimates, even right at the very end, he had to use the dive away towards the fountain, and popped his ultimate next to the fountain, and he had buyback, so he would have been able to maybe impact the next team fight. I don't know, it just seemed very weird, and, well, Newbee taking it out and giving themselves a shot at one of those top 6 positions.
Yeah, Keen's still just not really looking like a super coordinated team unit just yet. I mean, we've only been talking about them for like the past few days, so I don't think things are going to change overnight, but they got so little value out of the Phoenix and the Tusk. Right? Lanes went okay, and then what did we hear from those two heroes for the rest of the game? It just felt like nothing, right? Supernovas to save yourself. Tusk farmed a little bit. He had a good start. He actually had like the Treads drum bracer pretty quickly, and then just didn't seem to have any initiation opportunities, any playmaking potential. They just kind of played the lanes, farmed up, got out farmed, and then Newbee, who had an actual draft that all kind of clicked together and they all played around each other, just went walking from objective to objective with their Shadow Fiend in the front, and that was the end of it.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. We talk about it in terms of the item build, but also the hero abilities as well. So Tusk, he needs to get kills to make something happen. He can be that frontliner, and as well on top of that, they went the drums. So where's the farm going to come from that? You need to be pushing forward with your Morphling. You need to be pushing forward with your DP. Just didn't happen.
Yeah. Well, Keen, unfortunately, that puts them 1-7, so tied at the bottom with Ocean. They do have one match left, but that's not going to be today. That's eHome versus Keen tomorrow. Our last series for today is Vici versus PSG LGD. I know that you were looking forward to this one, Danog. I'm looking forward to it. Should be a good series.
In 3rd and 4th at the moment, so it should be pretty hype.
Yeah. Should definitely be hype. And both of LGD, they could overtake IG. Right?
It's hard to say, because IG have won, like, when they've lost, they tend to lose 1-2. So they've still got a lot of games won. I think actually all of their losses, they at least took one game out of it, and it went to a BO3. So I don't know how exactly they do their weightings, or if they do tiebreakers at the end of it all, or whatever it is.
Right. It depends on how the ties are broken. Well, do they have the head-to-head? So they do have the head-to-head, but they wouldn't have it if it was based on your number of wins, right? Because LGD are currently only their best final score is like 14, and IG already at 15. But I guess LGD can actually they can be 7-2, right? They don't have to be 6-3. So they could actually still, if they beat Aster and they beat Vici, then they're actually they're guaranteed second in that situation. But they're gonna have to win this next one. And for Vici, winning this next one would put them out of reach of anyone else below them. So that would help cement their spot. So pretty important best of 3. Thanks for tuning in, guys. We'll probably be getting underway pretty quickly. The scheduled start time is in 20 minutes, but normally the 1v1 is going to be coming up a little bit faster than that. So we're going to jump to a quick break. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll catch you back here for LGD versus Vici in just a short little while.